Anime fans, One Piece fans, what is good? The answer to that question, of course, is One Piece. One Piece is what's good, and today we're going to be doing a versus battle with two of the most high-tier characters in the One Piece universe, Magellan and Katakuri. So before I get into the versus battle and listing the abilities of each character and comparing them, I just want to say, I know a lot of you are going to be like, bro, what are you talking about? Magellan cannot compare to Katakuri. I'll get more into it when I explain Magellan's abilities, but I believe Magellan is super slept on by a lot of people. He's much more powerful than most people give him credit for. I know a lot of people do give him credit for his power, but a lot of people don't, so the people of you who do not give him the credit for his power, just watch the video so you can see where I'm coming from and why I believe he's so strong enough to even challenge Katakuri. So let's just get into it. I'm going to start with Magellan's abilities. Magellan is the former warden of Impel Down. He's now the vice warden due to his failure to capture Luffy when he made the whole prison break, and basically all of Impel Down got out of Impel Down, so that's one of the biggest mistakes Magellan could ever make. So he is now the vice warden instead of the warden, but that is not the main point. He was the warden for a very long time. That is a very key component in this whole versus battle, because Magellan being the warden, he was the most powerful person in the prison, even though we know Shiryu was around his level, even though the favorite card said, even though Shiryu was supposed to be as powerful as Magellan, Shiryu feared Magellan, so you know that Magellan probably had a slight edge over Shiryu, considering that Shiryu feared him. But the point is, Magellan is supposed to be the strongest person in the prison, which means he was powerful enough to keep down all the prisoners, or supposed to be that powerful. So you know that all the big pirates are taken to Impel Down. Like pirates like Katakuri's level, they will be put on level 6. Guys like Doflamingo's level 6. Like all these powerful characters that gave Luffy trouble, these villains we all know and love, who are insanely strong, Magellan is supposed to be able to keep them down and keep them broken. If they were ever to escape, Magellan is supposed to be powerful enough to take them out. So that's your first inclination that this man is very strong, considering the fact that he's supposed to be strong enough to take down guys like Doflamingo or even somebody like Katakuri if they were to escape from the prison. And this immense power I'm talking about definitely comes from his devil fruit, the Doku Doku no Mi, one of the most powerful devil fruits in this series. Basically, it's a fruit that allows him to generate poison and whatnot, and this poison is lethal. It is super powerful enough that it is able to just take down almost anybody. It was able to take down Marshal D. Teach Blackbeard before he got the Gura no Mi. Even though he didn't have the Gura no Mi yet, he's still very powerful. Magellan was able to take him out and his whole crew, so you know Magellan is very powerful just from that. That was in his first level poison, his purple poison that's slightly acidic and is able to like make rock sizzle and take down almost anybody. Poison Logias, like poison crocodile, even though he's made out of sand, the poison was still able to affect him and stuff like that. Just super powerful poison that's seemingly able to take down anybody. But he also has a second form, the Venom Demon, in which the poison is so powerful it poisons even rock. It doesn't just make the rock sizzle, it poisons the rock itself. And Magellan says the Venom Demon is able to take down all of Impel Down. He would be able to destroy Impel Down, the entire complex, with the Venom Demon. And just seeing how Magellan used it, and seeing how it affected the world around it, it was able to poison everything, not just other people. The whole world around it was affected by it. It was like acidic and poisonous, and it just had so many poisons mixed within it. It was just insanely powerful and seemingly able to do anything, even take out the whole Impel Down complex. It is not a stretch to say that all the prisoners who were there, Jinbei, Ivankov, Crocodile, Luffy, and everybody else, Magellan probably would have been able to take down all of the hundreds of notorious pirate prisoners right then and there if he had caught up to them. If he had caught up to them, he would have been able to take them all out. That is not a stretch, that's basically confirmed, considering all hundreds of them were just running away from him like he was the Death Reaper itself, and he kinda was. So that is Magellan's abilities, and it's not a lot. It seems like it's only one thing, but it's just one super powerful thing. Especially what I said before, it is able to poison Logias, most likely, unless it's something like Ace's fire or Akainu's magma, then probably not. But if it's something like sand or ice, it's able to poison even that, so that will give him an edge against Katakuri, because Magellan is able to poison Katakuri's mochi, even with Katakuri being a special paramecia. And speaking of Katakuri, let's talk about his abilities. So he ate the Mochi no Mi, a special paramecia type of fruit that allows the user to turn into, manipulate, and produce mochi. And at first this kind of seems like not the best devil fruit, but not the worst, but it's actually much more powerful than it seems, because the mochi has a sticky substance, so it's able to suck people into it if it doesn't have armament haki on it, and stick to them if it doesn't suck them in and they're not able to get out of it. But then when it has armament haki on it, it becomes super hard, harder than a rock, harder than most of the things that we know of in this series. So Katakuri is able to bust somebody in the head with an insane amount of force. Of course, his signature future sight, advanced observation haki that allows him to look into the future itself and see what his opponent is going to do before they do it. So just look into the future a little bit and be able to account for it, and as such he's able to manipulate the mass of his body and open holes when somebody's trying to punch him, so it looks like they can't punch him and their fists are going through him, but actually he's just looking into the future and dodging what they're going to do before he does it, even though he doesn't always use future sight for that specific ability. Sometimes it's just amazing observation haki, but even so. And now it's time to talk about how a battle between these two monsters would play out. So you got Katakuri, of course. I know a lot of people will be like, even though Magellan has his poison, Katakuri's future sight is so good that he can just dodge out of the way of all the poison attacks Magellan does at him. And here's the thing about Magellan, even though he's able to fashion his poison into something like Hydra or Venom Demon, he can also just launch a wave of it. So Magellan, he could just launch a ginormous wave, a whole tsunami of red poison, of purple poison, whichever poison he's using at the time. And even though Katakuri is insanely fast, Magellan's poison isn't exactly slow, so even if Katakuri is using future sight, the width of the poison wave could be too much for Katakuri to get out of the way in time, especially if it was close quarters. Now here's the thing, haki. Now to be fair, Magellan does not have haki, so that would put him at an extreme disadvantage. Or not, he doesn't have haki. Haki was never confirmed or implied for him, so I can't use it in this argument. If Magellan had haki, that would be a whole different story, but we're going to be operating this versus battle as Magellan not having armament haki or observation haki or anything like that. I do not know how haki counters Magellan's poison. I'm assuming it does counter it effectively, even though the Venom Demon, which is probably an awakening, might be a little bit different, but it probably still counters it at least to an extent. So Katakuri would probably have to go full armament haki the majority of the time he was fighting Magellan, because if Magellan's launching waves of poison at him, he's got to go full armament haki to avoid getting poisoned and killed, because if Magellan's poison touches Katakuri, it's all over. Magellan is a one-shot and you're done deal. If Magellan gets his poison on Katakuri, if it washes over Katakuri once, Katakuri is incapacitated, the fight is over. So of course this gives Magellan an insane advantage, because even though he doesn't have any haki we know of, the fact that if his poison touches Katakuri or washes over Katakuri once Katakuri is done, that is a big deal, because that means Katakuri would have to have armament haki all over him the whole time, which requires a lot of effort, and as we know, the more armament haki you use or the more it's spread apart, the more it's spread, the weaker it becomes. And I'm not sure how much of a problem it would be, because this is Katakuri we're talking about, but as I said, I don't know how well haki counters Venom Demon, so if it's spread too thin, Venom Demon would probably seep through, considering how powerful the Venom Demon is. So the thing with Katakuri is he would have to get in and attack Magellan really fast, so he would have to come in and hit Magellan as hard as he could. And Magellan, he does have good durability, but he doesn't seem to have the best durability out there, so if Katakuri used his strongest attack just once or twice or thrice, Magellan will probably be taken out, but that's where his poison comes in. The fact that Magellan can just wash the poison again and again super duper fast, and just a lot of it, especially if it's Venom Demon, that might be hard for Katakuri to get through. Of course, Katakuri's future sight would give him a big advantage when Magellan was using something like Hydra, the Hydra-looking conjuration of poison, because if the Hydra is going at Katakuri without it being a big wave of poison, Katakuri would be able to easily dodge it and get around it and get closer to Magellan. And as I said, Magellan, he killed over when Luffy Gomu Gomu no pistoled him, and now that's not the biggest thing, or it was just pistol, but still, that's not the biggest thing because we know the same thing happened with Blackbeard, but even so, the fact that Gomu Gomu no Pistol was able to do that to Magellan, even if Magellan wasn't super hurt, he just fell down a little bit on his knees. I know that's not the biggest indicator of weakness, like that would happen to a lot of people. The Gomu Gomu Jet Pistol is super duper powerful, it has a lot of force behind it, but even so, Katakuri's strongest attack is much stronger than something like Gomu Gomu no Jet Pistol. Like Flaming Mochi or Buzz Cut Mochi would do a lot more damage, so if that happened to Magellan too many times, as I said, like 2 or 3 times, that would be able to take him out fairly fast, like not super fast, but I feel like if Katakuri gets the hits in on Magellan, then Magellan would go down. But as I said, if Magellan gets his poison on Katakuri goes down. So I feel like the fight would be super fast and decisive, and it would depend how much knowledge each of them have on the other. So if Magellan goes into Hydra, I think he's most likely finished because if Katakuri uses future sight and observation hockey and his speed to go really fast and just get around the Hydra and just get to Magellan, Buzz Cut Mochi, bash him in the face and bust him in the head, and he just goes flying and just bust him twice more before he can get up, the fight will be finished. But if Katakuri's going in, not realizing he has to have a full armament hockey around him, and Magellan washes him over with poison as Katakuri is coming at him, then Katakuri will be finished because he didn't have any armament hockey, and now it's too late to get the poison out of his system. This fight is a difficult one to talk about because each of them have so many advantages over the other, and it just depends how fast they use their advantages. So Magellan would have to realize he would have to do a whole poison wave and not use something like Hydra, because Katakuri would be fast enough to get around Hydra and dodge under it and hit him. But then at the same time, Katakuri would have to realize that he has to get close to Magellan as fast as possible and smash him in the face or smash him wherever, just like bust him with one of his most powerful techniques before Magellan can go into something like Venom Demon and use poison waves. And now, as powerful as these two characters are, I do believe somebody would be the most likely to win. The person who I believe would lose could come up in a situation where they would win, but I think the person I'm about to say would be the one who would be most likely to win, the one who would win most of the time if the two battled. And I believe that person would be Katakuri, because Katakuri has been known to take his opponent seriously. Even in the beginning of the Luffy fight, he still thought Luffy was weaker than him, and of course Luffy was, but Katakuri wasn't playing around. He wasn't giving Luffy time to ramp up if Luffy was able to ramp up. When Luffy tried to go into Gear 4th, Katakuri stopped him. So we know that Katakuri takes his opponent seriously, he looks into the future to see what they're going to do, and he tries to shut them down and doesn't assume that he can toy with them. He kind of just cuts right to the chase and takes them out. Magellan, you know that he has a little bit of a complex of some sort, or not a complex per se, but he seems more of the personality, just considering his past interactions. He just seems to be the type of person who would think he's more powerful than Katakuri and believe that he is able to take Katakuri out, and he probably wouldn't realize that he's got to do his poison waves and all of that stuff first. He would probably try to do Hydra first, and because Katakuri is smart and he would probably be able to figure out what he needs to do, he would probably get in close to Magellan and, as I said, bash him. Katakuri would be the one more likely to use his advantage first. And as I said, Magellan does have some advantages and he's super powerful, but the thing is, he would be more likely, as I said, I think, to use Hydra to try and go after Katakuri first, but that's not even the biggest thing. Even if he uses his poison wave, since Katakuri is smart and he just wants to cut to the chase and bash Magellan, if Magellan did a poison wave, I think Katakuri would have the sense to go full body armament hockey, and he would still be able to use his abilities in full bodied armament hockey. And if he was able to push through the first wave Magellan shot at him and then come up with Buzz Cut Mochi and smash Magellan, I think that would be the end of it, because he would be able to follow it up with a whole savage combo of Buzz Cut Mochis, Flaming Mochis, like strong Mochi, unstoppable donuts, whatever he's gonna do, and just completely obliterate Magellan if he pushes that first advantage he might have if he goes full armament Haki through Magellan's poison wave, if Magellan were to use that before Magellan went into something like Venom Demon. Now, that's not to say that Katakuri could not go armament Haki, or he could be in a position where he didn't think to do it and Magellan was able to wash him over and thus win, and that could definitely be the case. So I'm not saying Magellan could never win this fight. I just think that Katakuri is the one more likely to win the fight because he seems to be more cunning and battle smart. Magellan is definitely cunning and battle smart, but just the way Katakuri thinks and analyzes things, I think he would be quicker to realize his advantages and how to push them than Magellan. So, yep, I believe Katakuri would defeat Magellan if they battled. Even though it would be a close battle, it would be a quick battle. It would be one of those things, as I said, where whoever realized their advantage first and pressed it would be the one to win. And I believe the one who would realize it and press it first would be Katakuri, just based on his character and his history. So, yep, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content and if you enjoy my content, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more One Piece content, and I will see you in the next video.